Hey guys, very cool. So, I know it has been a while since I streamed. Unfortunately, I broke my back. So I cracked two vertebrae in my spine. Um, so that was taking me. Yeah, hey, what's up, Jake? So that took me a little bit to recover. I'm still not fully recovered. I don't know if I'll be able to sit here for the 3 hours. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try. I'm not in pain currently, so it should be good. So last we had been in here, I believe we were doing like a web or silk web building essentially, and there were still some problems with that, and so I think we need to make a silk manager that basically gets rid of it because it was that if you let it go, the silk thread would just delete itself after 5 seconds. But let's do something a little more persistent but also performant in the way that let's just say that there's like 15 available threads, and if you go over 15, it just deletes the last one. But otherwise, they stay there. So let me hop in here and see where we were at. Oh man, dang it! I'm like totally rusty on this. I forgot to even set up my headset. I don't even have Oculus open. No, give me a second on that. I got everything else set up. I got my phone though, so I can see comments and whatnot. And hey to whoever, the third person who just joined, glad you're here. I had broke my back, and so that was a hiatus. But now I'm back, so we're gonna see if we can get up and running here. I'm just about to run through the game a little bit to remind myself where I was with all of this. Let me turn this into an Oculus Rift so that I can develop with it. And if you're new here, feel free to introduce yourself. Jake is here, and if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, let's see. Settings, turn that into a Rift. Okay. Okay, cool. So we had swinging in general. Oh. And you could release to let the silk out. That was cool. And that silk would drop. Oh, ow. Okay, then basically we had made it so that you could put the hands together. Oh. But there were some problems when you were moving at high speeds. I just freaking love this. Makes me so happy. I can't even tell you. Pew! Let's get one there too. Okay, cool. And then when you released it, it stayed. Let me see if I can get down to that one. And then you could actually... What the heck? What was that? Oh, okay. Okay, and then you could actually climb along it and whatnot, but... Okay, it looks like the player's body... First of all, it looks like the player's body interacts with the silk. So let's open up a folder. Let's open up something here. What else? Did I see? I think I saw some. Oh. Silk, swing. And I believe release silk, transfer. So release silk would be called, I'm looking for wide when grip button handler is released. Okay, I imagine the problem is basically that the physics objects that I'm checking against are actually a little bit behind what you're seeing. And the faster you go, the more of a problem that's going to be. And so, let's see, we do a, from the transform position, I wonder, and this is what on their hand? I'm forgetting all this stuff now. Yeah, so you had this silk swing. I wonder if I can get to the... Okay, two thoughts. Either run it in fixed update, or don't check the transform position, check the collider on it. No, I mean... Probably didn't get it all. I'm wondering if it would even help to do this in fixed... whatever. Alright, we'll deal with this later. What was the other thing? Oh, that the body is interacting. Okay, cool. And then so for that, we just need to... I believe it probably happens in Silk Strand. Oh, you know what? It probably doesn't happen anywhere. No, you add the capsule collider. And then you never actually set anything for that, but in here we switch the layer based on the hand, and you want to hit oh sorry, that's when you're switching, not when you're climbing. We're looking at climb here. Hey Nick, nice to see you here. Sorry, I've been, stumbling over my words. I've been out for a while because I broke two vertebrae in my spine, so I wasn't really able to sit here and keep programming. So I apologize for the wait on this stuff, but we're back to it now. I should be able to get through the 3 hours today just fine. Maybe I'll have to take a break in the middle there, but I'm glad you're here. How are things? How are things going for you, Nick? You doing well? Let's see. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out why my body is hitting the wall. Okay, this is all a little ridiculous. What am I doing here? So, basically, do these all not have, they have a layer called building. Does the player not only hit the building? Yeah, player hits water and it hits building. It has a capsule layer and the layer is player. Let's get in there and let's see. Okay, cool. It's crazy how you like build up momentum. You like forget how the game that you're building works to some degree. This capsule collider is labeled as building. I don't know where I'm doing that actually. Okay, I'm just setting it right here. Okay, so I'm setting it to building. What I need to do instead is, I'm sure I have a climb ball. Yeah, climb ball. Hits buildings. Okay, and we basically just need to create a new layer. Call it silk. Okay, and that's layer 14. So then in here we just say that this is layer 14. Save that, come out of here. And then this silk does not interact with anything except the climb ball. And that should be good. And let's try that. Where's a quick place to try that? Looks like down here. You can climb up to it. Oh. Huh. Okay, and I'm still... Oh, you know what it is? There's a little bit of a craziness going here with climb ball. It only intersects with that. So what we need to do... What is this? I believe you do... Because we do a custom check that's a little bit bigger because of some problems we were having. And I believe that's how you do that there. But let me check real quick. Yeah, that should work. Let's check it though. Basically what I did is I said make it hit silk and make it hit. buildings when you're climbing. What is going on? Ah. Okay. I'm a mess. Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm like extremely immobile, so I'm like hitting everything on my desk and stuff. Okay, so that bug should be good. So that's gone. Very cool. And then Silk doesn't switch hands if moving too fast. That's really frustrating me. And the only thing I can really think of let's go into Silk Swing. And what? So there's this grip button handler. And it's all called an update, I believe. So this is going to call an update calls. I mean, certainly I could just not... One way to do this would be to not rely on the physics system, since it is on kind of different wavelengths from what you're seeing visually. It's on like a different underlying time step. And I think it's a little bit behind, so when you're moving really fast, it's messing up. One way to do this would definitely be just checking that your distance from the other hand, basically that your distance from the other hand was less than this, just by like basic math using the transform positions. So maybe I just do that. All right, let's see. Okay, so if you're using the right hand, well, actually, I guess you don't even need to worry about that. Let's just say okay, fine. I'll do it in a few steps. Float distance equals hand spy dot left hand trans dot position minus hand spy dot right hand trans dot position. And let's even do local position. No, let's do position. Because what would the... No. No, I think I can do local position. And I think that would be more robust. And then we need to get the magnitude of that, which will just basically give us the distance from each other. Bool. Should swap give to other hand equals distance less than or equal to 0.075, but I believe this is actually going to be 0.15 since they both would have had a 0.075. Okay, and I think that should be good. Get the difference in their positions. Check that it's less than that. Okay, let's see what that gets us. Whew. Okay. First of all, let's... Oh no, I already flew. Okay. Oh. It's a little too close currently, but it is working. Let's just go ahead and make it bigger by about 50%, and then let's try it. Okay, perfect. That appears to be working now. Cool. Oh. Okay, very cool. So that should be fixed now. Good, because that was really annoying me. Alright. And we'll just get rid of these for now. Probably didn't get it all. Honestly, it's not enough. And we'll leave those just in case we want to use it later. In case we run into some issues with that. I believe... Ooh, what else? I think there's some problems with the climbing when it comes to... Let me think. When you let it go... For latching to point in air after strand dropped. Where is this called? Yeah, okay, so you set the secondary latch position. And what happens when it just drops? I'm trying to remember. Silk strand or silk swing. Let's see here. Transfer, let it go. You're putting them together, they stick. On silk abandoned. And who actually cares about this? The end node. So now I'm just trying to think how. Anyway, what I was trying to figure out is basically when you shoot the silk and then you just drop it and it falls and it latches onto something. Um, and it latches onto something, it doesn't actually. Ooh, it doesn't create the collider necessary for you to climb on it. So you wouldn't be able to climb on something like that, but technically you should be able to climb on it. Like you should be able to be on a wall, shoot, then stick it to the wall that you're on and then climb across it. I'm just trying to think. Alright, we won't worry about it for now. Let's just put it under bugs. Isn't climbable. Okay, cool. So now, let's see. We need to. Basically, there's a couple things that I'm thinking now. Walk on and climb their silk. I see. I guess I must have made a building because I wanted them to be able to walk on it. Walk movement. So I can just put this here. Honestly, it doesn't really make sense walking on it. I'm just going to leave that out. Okay, so very cool. So yeah, it's funny if you don't do if you take like a week off game dev when you come back, everything is like really slow. Here, let me go tell Aaron to be quiet real quick. No, you're talking really loud. Whew, okay, cool. Sorry, I went out there and the dog started jumping on me. It hurt. So, let's see. Okay, very cool. Let's see. So we need to make the silk, persistent. And then we also need to, what was it? I did want to do some sort of function for whether or not it would stick. And I think that was basically going to be just checking, I guess what, like, do I have, let me open up Photoshop here. I guess if you have like, so I guess if you have a silk strand that's going this way, I guess all I really need to do is check that between one of those silk strands, one is at least at least like some threshold, probably like this. It's within this, and I guess that would make it connectable. Or you know what I can honestly probably do, that would be just like a O of n, and if you have a question about that, let me know. I could probably go through all the silk strands and add up the angle between them. Like add up each individual angle, and if that's over some amount, then make it stick, and if not, then just drop it. But I don't know that that necessarily works, because if you, in a 3D space, just imagine this is a triangle, and those are the silk strands shooting off of it. If you take the angle between these, it might get over 180, but it's still not exactly like structurally sound. But you don't want to do like O of like n squared divided by 2. That's a lot, depending on the amount of silk strands. I mean, it probably won't be, because you have a max of like 15, but like I'm sure the computer could handle that. It wouldn't be too big of a problem, especially since you're doing it just over one frame. But I'd still rather something that is less crazy. I'm just thinking, I'm wondering if I can use like just straight up physics. But I don't really want to. I guess I'll just leave it for now. Truly, it doesn't really matter that much if they shoot this and then it stays and there's just like some weird web that's kind of looking like that. I don't know that that will really be all that bothersome, truly. So perhaps we just leave it. Just leave it for now. And so then we basically need a climbing helpers. I guess let's see if we can make a, let's call this like swinging helpers. And we'll call this silk manager. And then we basically need to come into, what is it, movement? I guess not movement. And we'll create something called silk manager. Manage the amount of silk strands. Manage the amount of silk strands. Basically, let's call it manage the lifetime of silk strands. Okay, and then I guess we'll need a queue of silk strands. I'm going to use a queue because it'll basically be like a line, so you'll put them in there, and then when the 15th person is added, it'll pop out the other one. And then we'll basically need a public void add strand. Okay, and that will basically handle everything. So add to queue. Queue.enqueue. Cool. Enqueue strand. If strands dot count greater than params public int max strand count, and let's just set it equal to 15. If it's greater than max strand count, destroy strands dot dequeue. So basically just take the one that was made first and get rid of it. And that should be good. And so now we just need to do the add strand part of all that. And I think that will just happen in Silkswing. Shoot silk. If it's idle. Okay, we'll do that just because we're going to use this a couple times here. And then we'll just do strand. And then we'll do Silkswing needs to get the soak manager. Let's just make it I guess we'll just make it a public variable. And then we'll just set it. Nothing too crazy there. Okay, very cool. And then we'll go into soak strand. Oh. And we won't do that. Okay, very cool. And we just won't destroy it anymore because the other thing will. And I believe when hand is set to null, it handles all this stuff for me. Yeah, it gets rid of all that and then sets it to the value. Okay, cool. So that should be good. Yeah, that should work. Fairly simple there. And we'll take both of these and we'll go to Silkswing and we'll set the soak manager. Okay, cool. And let's see how that goes. Probably shouldn't have done 15. I probably should have done a number that... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so it is not deleting them. Oh, you know what? You know why it's not deleting them? It's just deleting the silk strand on them. It's not deleting the... I don't remember where I put silk strand. It probably is on the top, but let's just do that anyway. And let's make this 5 so that that's a little quicker. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. So you can swing, no problem. Five. Okay, seems to work. Cool. And let's bring this back up to, I don't know, let's say you can do 20. 20 seems about right. Cool. So then, let's see here. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to do for the silk strands. Let me do some art stuff here. I'm wondering if we can... Man, I hate how long this takes. Just the environment currently is kind of a bummer, I have to say. It like makes me like sad when I'm inside of it. Overcast night, blue sunset, deep dusk, cold sunset, cold night. Okay, these aren't the ones I'm looking for. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Don't want sunset, I just want daytime, and I don't want this scene. And that's fine. The problem is, as you'll see, the camera clipping plane is really short. So I need it to be able to fade. Like, I'm just wondering if it'll look alright. Like the rain is terrible. Like really bums me out. Okay. Oh, that was the shadow color. Okay, I was like, what the heck is happening right now? I need this. Problem is that looks nice there, so that's good. But the bottom half of this skybox is not white. I basically need the top half of the skybox. But even that doesn't really work, as you might look up. It might be low, you look up, and it cuts off the top of this. I really... don't quite know what to do about that. I mean, maybe I can just leave out the rain sound, honestly. Maybe that would be enough to make it not terrible. I can just stylize the fog and make it blue. That doesn't make a lot of sense either, though. Alright, for right now we'll just go back to what we were doing. Because I really don't know how to fix that, I'd have to think about it. But yeah, it's kind of like oppressing almost. I mean, it's all the same material, so I might be able to get away with more vertices than I'm thinking, and I can increase the draw distance that way. There's also the idea that, while not realistic, perhaps the fog could just fade into the skybox color, which would mean it would always just kind of disappear into what was correct. Maybe there's other weirder ideas like bending the world. Like if we curved it. But that would be really strange. Okay. Fading into the skybox. Wonder if you can do that. Let's take a. I mean, we have time. The game is like close to being done. Let's see. And we're only like halfway through the development cycle on it. So let's just take a look at. Let's take a look at the shader for the rock wall, I suppose. And there must be like. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so basically we have the cube map in here. We just sample the cube map and it's gonna out this, and we need a direction, and that direction is basically going to be the I don't know what they mean by world space here, but what it would need to be is, I guess, from your head to the. Do I have any? No, there must be. Position, camera. Okay, and grab the world position. Minus the camera position. and then normalize it. And then I think we could take all this. Is there like a... Okay, we'll just make a... Duplicate that one. Call this to cam to position. Open it up. Get rid of all this. Come in here. Oh, that's not right. Come in here. Grab all this. Copy it. Come over here. I just know I'm going to use this a lot, so I might as well do this. Now output is that, and then we'll go to graph settings, and we'll basically get rid of all of these. These are just from the thing that I copied it from. We're in this direction. It's vector 3. Get rid of this property. Okay. We'll save that. Okay, then we should be able to come back here. Just doing some tidying work here. Okay, first of all, let's check this out. Okay, cool. Now it's kind of like you're seeing the skybox behind it, which is honestly kind of cool, I have to say. Switch this to daytime. Let's turn fog off. And we do see that it is in fact darker. Which I'm not actually sure as to why. So let's see if we can figure that out real quick. How big is this thing? First of all, let's make this 2K. It's 14 megabytes right now. Still 14 megabytes. 1K. Alright, 3. I can deal with 3. Cool. Let's see. Ignore blah, 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 blah. Okay, skybox, materials, this one. Of course, okay. It's still darker. And I just don't really Okay. Doesn't really matter though because I can just change. Basically, I can just fix it. It has something to do with like the way it's being sampled, and one of them has some gain applied to it, and the other doesn't. It's going to be some difference between like a linear and a gamma, but I don't know why. And it's not really a big deal. I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay, anyway. So basically, we'll just come in here. Cool. We'll just create a multiply. We'll multiply this. That's a little annoying though. Maybe there's like a scale or something. No. I'm surprised it doesn't give me the option here to... You know what? Maybe I can just make a property. And just call it skybox scale, which isn't exactly correct, and just plug it in there. Yeah, cool. And then we'll do that instead. We'll come back over here. Again, we don't really know that any of this is going to be sensical, but, or like even work, but you know how it is. All right. Okay, cool. So now the problem is I'm okay, so basically if we look right here, it is a perfect alignment. It looks exactly correct because that's what I was looking at when I was setting this little value over here. Over here, it does not look correct. And the reason for that is because it is a linear versus gamma problem, and it's not a linear response. Like I'm just multiplying this by a number that's a linear curve. Like it's going to linearly scale it. The gamma versus linear is by like a power of 2.2 or something like that. Although I'm not even sure that that's exactly what it is. But I think maybe we can get that if we... I keep thinking it's like a different window for some reason. Instead of multiply, if we do power, and you know what? I think we need to do this as well. We need to split this up because we don't want to do a power to the alpha. We just want it to be 1. And let's see if that's any better. What is the gamma function? That's what I figured. That's what I have. So maybe I'm wrong about this. Dang it, I keep thinking it's something different. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know like enough exactly about how it's handling the textures for me to be able to exactly pinpoint it. So now I'm just doing kind of random stuff, hoping that it'll fix it. All right, whatever. For now, let's do this and let's see what happens. Okay, wait a second. Let me switch this back. All right, close enough. And then let's go in here and let's grab all this. And pretty much just move it out. And then, all right, let me think about it for a second. Okay. Good. So I'm just seeing real quick if I can see how they do this. I don't really... Oh, you know what? You know what it might be, honestly, that I didn't even really think about? It might just be the fact that it's lit. Yep. Classic. Classic me being silly. Okay, very cool. So that's kind of a problem because it needs to be lit. Like that needs to, basically you put in this base color, then it does lighting and things like that. Then it'll do lighting and things like that. I put in this base color, it'll do lighting and things like that. I needed to not do, I basically needed that to be the final color. Anyway, let's not worry about that for right now. Let's just see if this works in any sort of way. So we'll save that, we'll come back over here. And yeah, so we have this. We get it close, but not exactly perfect, and that'll be fine for now. And then we'll come in here, and we basically have this, which is the actual final color. Which is the actual final color. Oop. Let's call it that, and then you have this, which is the sky box. And then we basically need to lerp between this and this. Distance from the camera. Intervalize. $251. And then you kind of get this weird transparency effect. Which is a little strange, and I almost think you could take this interval and run it through a power real quick before you put it over here, since it's going to be from 0 to 1. I believe that will flatten. Okay, cool. Fog. I don't know. I'm not naming these things correctly, but let's just call it fog fade. Cool. Save that. Let's go back here. Let's make it pretty sharp, actually. So they sort of start just fading in. And let's actually... Okay, and let's see what that looks like. This is going to be probably pretty strange. Okay. You know what? It's not terrible, honestly. It's not terrible. And if it gets me away from that, like, really oppressive fog, I honestly will probably run with it, just because it's a free game and it doesn't really matter. Let me try one other thing real quick, though. Well, A, the freaking rain was still playing for some reason. And B... I don't need... Okay, cool. Okay, so the buildings slowly fade in. A little bit weird. A little bit weird. Not too bad, though. And way less oppressive than before. Because you can actually see the sky now. Okay. So then, let's see here. Now the problem is I had to make it unlit for it to work appropriately. I had to make it unlit for it to work appropriately. Also, we should probably make this more like... Oh, you know what it is? It's 1 meter too long. I think we need it to be 249. And now it should work with our field of view. Okay, cool. So there's that. And then the other problem now is that it is unlit, meaning that the light does not affect it, which it should, obviously. You know what I just realized? Why am I even dealing with the skybox? I think I can just fade its alpha value. Well, okay, let me think. The reason I might be dealing with the skybox, I'm actually not sure which of these is more performant. If I make this transparent, the fill rate is gonna be a lot worse. Meaning it's going to render a lot of pixels that it doesn't need to, because it's not actually transparent, it's more dissolving. I think this is probably better, honestly. I can make that more like that. That might be significant computation there, doing a power of 30, but whatever. Okay, now it's not lit. So let's see if we did want it to be lit. Apply something after lighting shader graph. Let's see here. I'm worried this is going to be a little bit tough. Let's think. I could just make it transparent, but I think that's really going to destroy performance. I don't think I can afford to do that. It's got to be opaque. Okay. So I'm going to take a short break for lunch, and then I'll think about it over lunch, and we'll see what we're doing when we come back. But I'll see you guys in a little bit. very cool. So when we left, we were basically trying to figure out how to make it still a lit shader, but also have it work, because if it's not lit, it's gonna look terrible as seen. You know, it just looks like a nothingness essentially. Although the transparency effect does work. However, and we can't just make it transparent because it would ruin performance, especially since we're doing a projection or a trilinear. So then basically we're wondering how to keep this as lit. And to do that, we basically need to, basically this lerp that we're doing, we need to apply it after the fragment is done shading. The problem is, the problem is it doesn't really give you any options to do such a thing. I believe that maybe there's maybe in this one in the beginning they say like, hey, no, they're just saying custom function. I'm just thinking there must be a node that basically does all that lighting. There must be a node that does all this lighting. And that maybe I could just, man, this is a bummer. Because I really like this solution. Kind of, I mean. I just think it's way better to be able to see the open sky. I think pretty much everyone would agree with that. Probably didn't get off. Honestly, it's not my fault. Okay, let's do this. For now, we'll just do this. And I do have... Okay. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure that that code I have sitting there isn't gonna mess me up. And I care for you, but don't get carried away. What we can't have, and cry 'cause we can't love. These shader graphs get so out of control so fast, it's crazy. Alright, it's just... Where's the overdraw? Anyway. It looks like it's just at a base level slightly transparent though for some reason. Don't know what's happening now. Okay, hopefully that just won't be a thing. Okay, I don't know where that transparency is coming from. And it looks like the sorting doesn't work. Why would the sorting not work? Okay. Well, anyway, I'll worry about this later. For now, what we'll do is... What was it? I think this was the base color, and it was opaque. And then we can just make it, I don't know. I don't know, let's just leave that. Yeah, you don't get any shadows when it's unlit. Do I need shadows? Not really, to be honest. Yeah, I probably don't even need shadows. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was on scene view. Probably don't need set shadows, and then let's see. It's unlit. Okay. Oh, I'm just thinking basically I can just make a simple lighting function myself. Like, it's really not that crazy. I just need to... Jesus. I'm getting a bunch of fake calls for some reason. But weirdly... Like, where is the main light? Yeah, shader graph needs some work. Okay, we'll just keep it unlit for now. And I don't really want to deal with the water. Maybe, honestly... Oh, not that. Oh, I see. That's funny. It's because I have something special in the shader that makes... Or that should. Okay, cool. Let's see. So, yeah, I'd probably have to write a custom lighting for that. That's fine. I'll probably only end up using one material anyway, and I'm probably going to change this to like moss or something since the rock is a little overbearing as well. And then I just think it'd be funner, and then I need to get like bird sounds and stuff in here. But for now, I think we can do some more sounds. Let's see. What sounds do we need? Okay, so there's no. Okay, we have that. Okay, we could definitely use some web shooting. Okay, guys, I think I'm actually gonna call it here for today. My back, honestly, is hurting me a little bit, and I don't want to overdo it. I'd rather heal, than like overdo it and not be able to do this again. It hurt me not being able to do the 2 weeks, so that's a bummer. But all right, well, anyway, thank you everybody for joining. Tomorrow we'll probably do some audio effects. I might, in my spare time, just handle the lighting. Instead of, although that could be good to do on stream as well, so who knows. But anyway, thank you for everybody who joined today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.